Today, I would like to use the time to share what do we learn in Lithuania about daily management system. And I'm founder of Lean Academy Lithuania, and I spent last 20 years working with organizations. And almost every day, our team members, our partners, visiting organizations, are helping them with lean thinking and acting. And I'm going to use my pen. And my presentation is daily. I may put the work management system. And typically, organizations throughout the world thinks about continuous improvement. There are a lot of talks about that. But what we found in reality that the most of our organizations are not ready for continuous improving. Why? Because majority of organizations we met, it not in our country but also visiting other countries, because of the work, how we manage the work is a weak system. And the way how we manage it is not appropriate for continuous improvement, and output of the process typically is not very stable. And what we learned that before thinking about continuously improve, or let's say CI, yeah, initially what we learned, it's very necessary to stabilize the work by learning very deeply, because it's important to learn very deeply all the aspects of of the work, and to develop supporting structure to manage the work. What we see in organizations, we see that typical organization, they have very weak structure of supporting the work. I using following slides, I will let you know what I mean. And the purpose of that activity to develop work management system is to learn what we need to do, what support do we need to have in order to manage the work in your specific organization, because every organization is very specific. And in order to develop appropriate management decision, we should make some trials and to learn. And there is what we come up during past 20 years. We come up with those 7 very important small steps, as they are here, in order to develop, we may call work, or maybe call Gemba management system. What does it mean, Gemba management system? It means that system allowing you to get output of the process, being manufacturing company, or you are in service organization, or the healthcare, or military, everywhere, you need to have output on a daily basis, very stable. In order to get that output of the daily basis very stable, you should take those steps. All of them are important, and every step has own purpose. And let's start from very beginning. The first one: set up a clear purpose and direction, measurable goal. And what we learned, is that in order to develop appropriate management system, you you should focus in very small area at the very beginning. I mean, if you have many manufacturing unit as this as an example, or you have office organization, let's choose small area to focus, because the purpose of the focus is just to move a little bit quicker, and make develop go a little bit deeper and develop some steps to have a management system. If you are going to cover all of the process, it would be impossible to develop a management system, because you will not have enough time and energy to do that. And let's make all of my presentation is just example of one company or one lean transformation. They produce drinks, and let's have an image. Our model line is line 5, yeah, and the goal of the year for the year is to increase output of production. Oh, that's typical goal for manufacturing organization. To increase capacity, from 5,000 till 6,000. That's a purpose. That's a goal. And secondary goal is to decrease work hours. I mean man hours to produce 1,000 bottles per year. Let's have an image as a goals, those ones, and focus on a small scale. Then very important step, step number two. A lot of organizations start to have meetings over there without having this one, and it seems that there are some issues. I'm talking about to develop work standards. In lean thinking, there are a lot of books, a lot of materials about standardization. But the purpose of standardization is to define what's normal. And what's normal means, oh, that's a picture. If you drive on that road, the normal is to drive in 40 kilometers per hour, or different figures in different countries. And to define what's normal, it is very important from very beginning. Let's see an image. An image is over there. That's an example of beverage line. Typical beverage line is a very large one. It's more than 100 meters long. It costs €500,000 in Europe, and flow is very sophisticated, many machines around. And that's an example of line standard of beverage line. We help that organization to develop capability to develop those standards, and it looks like very complicated standards. Yeah, with project names, product names, with some parameters inside, with some speed parameters, and it is very important from the very beginning, from your lean journey in the model area, to develop what's normal output can be from the line. Let's say here that number of bottle is normal to have every hour in that line, and parts of the standards, it covers important aspects of the line. In order to develop that form of standards, you as a team should learn important aspects of the line. There are many different segments of the line. You see here, they're always somewhere here. And there are some parameters of the line. You see there are some repetitive processes, some periodic processes. And in order to develop the standards, typical organization we see spends from 3 until 6 months to develop and in order to get those figures. When you have those standards in place, you have next step. You should develop next step. You should develop small visual management things. What does it mean? It means that you should see very quickly. That's a very typical tool. It's very simple tools. All of the pictures you see in my presentation, all of them are very simple, just paper and pencil based. And there is a plan for an hour as a target for the line. What the purpose of visual management? Yeah, the purpose of visual management is to see issues. To see issues because in order to develop Gemba or work management system, we should develop two capabilities. The first capability is to see issues, and second capability to solve issues. It's very simple capabilities, but in order to develop them, it's not very easy way to do that. And those things helps us to see the issues. And we work with operators, with team leaders of the line, and we ask them, please let us know what kind of issues you have every hour. Please register those issues on that sheet of the paper. And you see there are many, there are seconds, there are minutes, and those ones are very good tools to see abnormalities, to see issues or abnormalities. What does it mean, abnormality? Abnormality is in opposite what's normal, because if your speed is this one, if you drive 60 it's abnormal. And in order to see abnormalities, because purpose of the management system is to manage the work and see abnormalities, because it's impossible to manage the work if you don't see abnormalities. That picture is a little bit modern. It's TV screen, and that's an output of the line. Output of the line, and in yellow you see here that's a standard speed, and the blue is actual output, and all of the arrows, red arrows, shows some deviation from the standard. There's deviation, that all of those things, there are abnormalities. They're typically very small ones. And when you develop things related with C issues, those one are related with the C to C issues, it is very important to develop capability of the management, lowest level management initially, to maintain standards and see abnormalities. Why? Because typically, that's a very good source, Masaki source. And management, according to Masaki, has two functions: maintenance and improvement. Typically, we focus on improvement. A lot of talk in lean environment there are about continuous improvement, but I may talk about the maintenance, because from our perspective, what we learn that the maintenance is a very very important aspect of management function, because purpose of the management is to maintain the technology, operations, and standards in order to see are there any abnormalities, because you can develop standards but people don't keep those standards, don't work according to those standards, then it would be impossible to see abnormalities, because you don't know do your system works according to the standard. And that's why those four steps, initial four steps, are important in order to see how you manage the work, and how you see abnormalities of the work. And those things, or to develop standard, it takes some month. To develop visual management, it maybe it's much quicker things. To develop management routine, it takes time in order to maintain standards, because those habits typical managers don't have. Because in order to maintain standards, you should be on Gemba almost half of your time if you are in team leader position. What we learned next, we learned number five. Yeah, what we learned here, we learned that in order to manage the work, you should develop appropriate supporting structure to get quick reaction to abnormality and Andon. Uh, we use that triangle. Triangle, you're familiar with those triangles. They are in opposite way than typical triangle. And seeing here, in all of us, we have team members. I may call them team members doing the work, doing value creating work. What we typically don't see in organizations, typically they have very weak that level of we may call it team leader level. Team leader level, from our experience, it is very important level of people who care about team members and whose job is to respond to abnormality very quickly. And in order to define, you see here, define online, offline jobs. If you care about flow in production or office, there are many, many differences in online and offline job, because uh, sometimes we have mixed jobs, and team leader capability, you should identify and you should learn that team leader is the most important person in your organization in order to manage the Gemba, the work. What we learned, team leader is number one person in order to manage the Gemba, because he is always on Gemba. He can note every abnormality very quickly, because he is a process. He should be very educated. And our purpose is to develop team leader structure. An organization should think about team leader structure. I don't know how in the world, but in Europe, a very, very rare organization has a real team leader structure in place. And you see the typical team members role and team leaders role. Team member role is to work according to the standard, or to pull Andon about inform abnormality. What a team leader's role is to maintain team member follow standards and react. And if you don't have team leader in place, it's impossible to manage Gemba. That's our learning. And next step, I mean, those initial five steps is about how to see issues. That's and sixth, seven, or also part of fifth is how to solve issues. And that's secondary capability you need to develop in order to manage Gemba. And also, I talked just about team leader structure. Now we need to think about to develop capability how to solve problems. And to solve problem, it can be I3, it can be even simple tool as I3, maybe if I wise, and it's not important. But the important is to develop capability of people to solve issues in PDCA in very systematic, scientific based way. And what we see here in a company, in that beverage company, you see that real transformation, that's timeline of transformation. We started with them in maybe in number 5 month in May, and in May 7, month 7, 8, and 9 until September, it's volume of abnormalities. You see, it's according to the time and density. It's still growing because we're still learning to see issues. And from that point, it's very visible that we started to develop capability of that organization to solve issues. And you see what's going next. Things are going to move a little bit quicker. And in order to manage the work and in order to start to solve the issues, you need to see what kind of issue repeats. That's why Pareto chart, it is very important. Keep it in mind. It should be very, very simple. It's handwritten abnormalities, not computer written abnormalities, no standardized abnormalities, just abnormalities people face in a line. And that's a density. You see density, colors is a shift. And there are, you see many abnormalities who are repeatable, maybe some abnormalities with a bit larger, but they repeat with just one. And try to learn how to solve issues. You see, that's development of organization, how they started to solve issues. You see the Pareto in September, that's year 2020. They continue 2021, considering there is a COVID environment, also a COVID outbreak, which affects production very much because sometimes some shifts just went out because of half of the shift was ill. And you see, there are abnormalities. We see, and the level of the abnormalities, that's in minutes. And we help them to develop those Pareto charts. Pareto charts is very easy tool, but very obvious and visual where you should focus. And you see the difference between September and December. People started to work. You see the difference. There are 300 minutes per scale. This scale in December is just 50. What does it mean? It means 6 times less abnormalities in a system. And we may call that organization started little bit to manage Gemba. A lot of issues, a lot of it was just we counted every improvement, every change, because not every change are improvements. Some of them becomes improvements, and we use that visualization just in our meetings. We teach that company to use that visualization in meetings to show what the problem team leader face, what the countermeasure is, what the impact made. And a lot of small countermeasures, small issues, even this one, because those bottles are not even, they should be turning. There is some turn that doesn't work properly, and they install this one in order to stop the line if there are issue or some elements of Jidoka. And there are many small improvements affecting how the line is working. And what's very interesting that I just heard a lot of presentation this morning from the second part of the world about daily meetings. What we learned at the very beginning, we learned that in order to manage Gemba, you need to develop meetings, and the purpose of the meetings is to see how we see and solve problems. In order to engage team leaders, supervisors in daily activity, we need to learn them to see and solve problems. And daily meeting in that organization, keep in mind, it is very simple, because every day you see here there is 20. I will show you the figures which is now in that organization, and there is fifth line, there is a model line. It is a model line. There's a team leader of the line. In that organization, we use just flip charts, paper of sheets, to communication in the meetings. We try to be as simple as possible, because in order to develop capability of team leaders working on a line, because in past nobody asked them to think about the target, to think about countermeasure. They just operating the line. Now we try to educate them to see abnormalities, to think about possible countermeasures, and to engage them in the process. There are a little bit more people around. They're not in the picture here, but team leader, we decided to have that meeting at the end of the shift, of the shift, not in the morning, because there are very sophisticated shift system, and people they're working few shifts, then some free time, then again 2 shifts, and those team leaders coming back to the work after 2 days. And we decided, okay, let's have meetings at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, after the shift, team leader presents his of work as team leader, as a line to there is a production manager, there are a little bit more people around, some maintenance people around, and explaining by pointing fingers. You see, leader is very interesting in very detail what he is talking about, and to ask him just to write down the figures and write down in summary how many obstacles and how many abnormalities they saw through the line, and what team did through the shift. And in order to manage the work, that part of the world is very interesting. You see, the target still this one, actual output is not this one as we want. Today, they have almost zero deviation in time, almost, because stability of the line increased so much. And that style of the meetings, the purpose of the meeting is to see issues, but not just listen issues. I mean, listen, but it needs to be go a little bit deeper. We ask team leader present those issues, and sometimes even to point with the fingers exactly in the line, because all of those meetings are very close to the line. There is end of the line, and we just go as a team and see the issues together with the team at the end of the shift. It helps so much to understand the logic of the issues, and uh, and also for those people in the meetings, it is very important to see the progress in problem solving, and to learn how we eliminate cause of the issues, and what effect is made of our countermeasures. And you see, we use that graph. We try to teach organizations to use very simple graph, and to show there are some chronicle issues. I mean, those issues and those are in that kind of organization repeats very frequently. And oh, let's falling down the bottles. I mean, because that bottle business. And yeah, you see the blue. How we see issues. Now we're trying to solve them. They are decreasing, number of issues decreasing very much. and you will see what's going on here. Issues in packaging. There are chronic issues in the packaging on Pareto. They repeats very frequently. And in order to develop Gemba, you need to see how we solve those issues never solved before. And all of them seems goes a little bit down. And those months was to develop standards, meetings, those months dedicated to develop capability to solve issues and problems. In order to develop capability to solve issues, you need to have very tight coaching. Inside the company, it is impossible, and outside the company, we manage to we try to educate and teach them how to solve issue, and we try to prepare local leaders to be internal coaches of problem solving. And there is a output of the system. Yeah, and output of the system, it was a target, it was a goal. Yeah, it was a goal in that level. We started a program in that level. And you see, there is in those things, there is a little bit COVID outbreak in those months. It was a very huge one in our country. And you see there is a learning points here. Now is a problem solving started over there. And yeah, line output goal was achieved a little bit more than was planned initially. According to the money level, it's very, very large money because the line is very expensive. But what's happened here? Work hours. Work hours, it's man hours per 1,000 bottles. Initial stage is just this one. Stage is the final stage, is the year we ended with this figure. What does it mean? It's almost twice reduced number of hours per 1,000 bottles. Not 25% as it was expected initially. It was twice. That's an output of the line when you practice daily management system. That's my presentation, and I would like just to repeat, having just one minute again. I would like to repeat that that's a way, that's a step we can have in order to develop system to manage the work. All of those aspects, there are much more important aspects, but please try this one, first one, then develop work standards. From our understanding, to develop work standards is a very important step because you define what's normal in a system. Thank you for your patience and for your time listening my presentation. I'm stopping them. Maybe there are some questions in audience.
Tadej, I don't see any questions from the members. And
Yeah. Okay.
maybe someone right.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your patience, for your attention. See you later.